Well, until now, it's a
Until now.
never-ending disadvantage for me. And I'm a frustrated cyclist. And the problem is sometimes these athletes are not so open-minded to show up for these marketing sessions. I do have friends naman, yung mga teammates ko ng swimming and even sa athletics. And some of my classmates. Pero matuto lang ako yung konting pakikisama.
Clutch moments ba ang usapan? Whether it's on the court or in the game of life, hihimayin natin yan. Kasama sina Eruption at si Denise Tan. Tara at pag-usapan ang mga make or break stories dito lang sa Clutch Talks. Powered by Sports Plus. Easy lang.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Clutch Talks. My name is Denise Tan.
And I'm Eric Eruption Tai. At dito sa Clutch Talks, we get to find out personally kung ano ang ginagawa ng isang tao or atleta in this case, how they get to where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Where were their clutch moments in their lives and what was the turning point until the point where they became, let's say, podium finishers. Representing the Philippines. So just like our guest today, na kakaiba, kasi this is the first one we've had that is in this level, in this sport, which is very interesting, and I want to learn more about it.
Yung guest natin today, he's looking at me now. He's a national athlete, former national athlete, a triathlete at that, commercial model. Pigil ng ngiti, motivational speaker and now also a sports executive. Please welcome here on Clutch Talks, we have Nico Huelga. So welcome, Nico.
What's up, Nico?
Hi guys. Hello, how are you?
Alright, parang galing ka ng isang triathlon ngayon Pero just kalma-kalma lang muna.
Kalma lang po, yes. Thank you for having me, guys.
Oh, thanks, Nico. Thanks for making the time, and thank you for, I got to get used to saying that, but thank you for representing the Philippines.
Oh, thank you.
Even though it was
It's an honor.
2017 when you actually 2015?
10 years, wow.
10 years?
Exactly 10 years.
Parang same time was the last time I had the flag on my back was 2015 as well.
Mm-hmm.
So batchmates tayo And you know what? And what you've done all the way throughout your life to get to that point and now what you're doing now. So that's something that we want to kind of pick your brain on. And especially triathlete, being a triathlete. What made you want to get into it? Like what made you start it? This is the thing that you wanted to do in life? Or can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, sure. For the first part, it's not something I want to do in my life.
Yeah.
Hindi ko siya pinangarap ng una. I just got into it naturally through pursuing one sport. I was a swimmer in high school. And then when we hosted the Southeast Asian Games in 2005, I got inspired from the storyline of being a national athlete, representing the country, bringing honor. So from then on, all I ever wanted to do when I was 14 at that time was to be a national athlete. So when I pursued the sport, I joined yung Palarong Maynila, NCR, and then I entered college. And then when I joined the Fun Run, I was discovered because one of the national coaches pala nun was a triathlon coach. And from there, sabi, I have a potential to be a national triathlete when I did that run. So from swimmer, I joined Fun Runs and then I added one more sport. So it's called aquathlon, swim run. And then when I joined those aquathlons organized by the National Federation, or what we call in the Philippines, NSAs, dun ako na-discover na I can be a national triathlete. So from there, I added another sport, the bike, so naging swim, bike, run. And I joined one of their races and I joined a couple of those triathlon races ng Federation. The following year, dun na ako napasok sa National Triathlon Team.
Pero when you said na parang it wasn't the goal from the start, hindi mo siya pinangarap, but you parang gradually got into it, na-enjoy mo siya. Just talk about siguro the transition and what you were feeling, what you were thinking, nung left and right pumapasok na rin yung suporta and encouragement from other people.
Yes. Well, it was definitely something new to me. Kasi it's all about the process. And back then, when I was a varsity swimmer in high school and in college, we were just training once a day. That's 2 hours in high school. And then I transitioned to 3 hours in college, and then entering the multisport industry, aquathlon and then triathlon, we were training twice a day. So it was quite difficult talaga yung adjustments. But over time, adaptation, and with the right coach and the mentor, I was able to slowly adapt to it over the period, months. So yun.
So you said twice a day training. Ano yung mga ginagawa mo? Like, is it swimming in morning and then swimming at night, or is it like running in the night or something like that? How was it?
Yes. I was joining the swimming team pa rin nung college ko in the morning. And then afternoon, I would either do indoor bike training or I would run alone in Rizal Memorial. Kasi sa likod lang siya ng Lasal. So there were lots of times that I would train alone in the afternoon. Pero morning, usually, I train with the team.
Ilang hours yon in a day?
Mm-hmm. Usually 4 to 5 hours in a day.
Okay. And then where
I'm
would
already
your...
dreading that. I'm like 4 or 5 hours a day of training. It reminds you of those days
Mapapanap ka
talaga.
talaga. Wala kang choice. So after the morning workout mo with the swimming team, you're bound to take a nap just to recover.
Mm-hmm.
So wala kang no choice.
Pero papasok pa eh, di ba? Papasok
Yes.
ka pa ng college noon.
Papasok ako 3 hours. So that's 2 subjects. And then I'd go to the library just to take a nap. So library has become my napping station. And it was very crucial. Kasi kung wala yung library for me to recover.
Wala. Sa school.
Yes. So hindi ako makaka-prepare for the next session. Kasi after ng nap, pabalik ulit ako sa class for the next 2 subjects. And then I have to do the run workout alone.
And this would be how many times a week?
At least 4 times in a week. So Mondays are always rest day. And yung pinaka-hard sessions ko are usually with the national team sa weekends. So I would travel from Lasal in Manila to Cavite. So college days, doon ako nag-training.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Ano yung feeling nun? Because I had an experience na umaga yung training, tsaka umaga lang at gabi lang. Pero coming into, let's say, your class, iba kasi pag pagod na yung katawan mo, na papasok ka and you have to be focused, you have to be attentive. So nakakapagod na yon. Pero sobrang mas nakakapagod pa yung pagod na rin yung utak mo, tas mag-ensayo ka pa ulit.
Mahirap. You slowly lose friends along the way from how I felt it. You slowly value your time more. Babaguhin ka ng sport. You're not gonna be able to change the sport, but rather the sport will change you in a way that you become more efficient as a person in everything that you do. So since I valued the sport now, because I became a national athlete, which was my childhood dream, you tend to prioritize talaga ways on aligning to what will reach you to that next goal. Syempre, first goal would be to make sure that you maintain being a national athlete for the next couple of years. And then hopefully to be a gold medalist in one of the competitions.
Pero early on, did you realize that was part of the sacrifice? Like when you said, you start to lose friends along the way. I mean, you were in college.
Yeah, I never knew that actually. Suddenly na lang talaga, I slowly ate alone. Mag-isa na lang ako makain. Lalo na, nung parang finals exam week, entire week, wala kang kasamang kumain. I was just training, studying, napping, and then taking the exams.
What was going through your mind? Like, what was pushing you, like, to basically accomplish that? Because mahirap talaga yun eh. And especially as a student, and trying to balance all that out, what was your mindset?
Yung importance ko sa goal ko na to, and my existence of being a national athlete, yung status na, since it's my dream, ayokong pakawalan to. So this must come first. So that said, mas ko talaga, I never thought it was a big sacrifice because it was manageable because of my value to the sport and to my education. So it was sports and education talaga.
Pero throughout the process, Nico, di ka ba na lungkot? At what? How old were you then? Yan yung mga sinasabi nila, college, you should enjoy it.
Party.
You should really make time for your friends. It's such an experience. Ikaw, parang wala ata nun, di ba?
Yeah. I do have friends naman, yung mga teammates ko ng swimming and even sa athletics and some of my classmates. Pero matuto lang ako yung konting pakikisama. I don't entirely have to spend time with them for about 2 hours. Probably 20 minutes. And then yun na, okay na yan. That's enough for me to feel the interaction. And then I have to go back to my duty as a national athlete. And then of course, attending class, staying focused. So I guess yun yung dun lumalabas talaga yung time management. And yes, everyone goes through the fear of missing out. But sa akin, I've been through that phase na sumilip ako sa yung mga nami-miss out ko. And it validated na I wasn't missing out too much because I was very happy what I was doing. Training, competing abroad, experiencing things outside of my comfort zone. And that led me to be more secure of myself. That I believed in what I was doing at that very moment. And that gave more confidence that this is who I am. I know what I chose and I'm gonna fight for it. And that makes me cope up with the sacrifices every single day.
Actually, it's really what you value, value the most. Kasi even now, I mean, I'm not training for anything. I'm not an athlete anymore. Pero kung may mag-aya sa akin lumabas, tutulog na lang ako.
Yeah, that's the choice, right?
I mean, just to simplify what Nico said, in my everyday life, I value rest more than going out.
That's true.
So, wala din akong FOMO. Okay lang sa akin kahit everyday after work, uuwi lang ako, nanonood akong TV, papahinga lang ako. But, yeah.
Don't forget the snacks din, ha?
Don't forget the snacks. Hindi, pero kasi just para lang maintindihan ng baka kasi yung mga viewers natin, isipin nila na, ay hindi naman ako ganong level of athlete eh.
Yeah, but I think it's a phase. I think everything that what we're going through is all a phase. The mindset, the missing out. And I had that fun moment na when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation, laro sa labas, parang enjoy lang, gala, lakwatsa, tambay. Of course, everyone goes through that. And now, tapos na ako doon and I found something that gave me purpose. It fueled my passion. And it created that direction in life. And I think that's what everyone goes through then. That once they find that something that's gonna give them meaning to their life, everything makes sense. And lahat ng paghihirap, it's more, mas nakakaya mo na.
Being a triathlete, that is already hard and very complicated. Out of those three, which do you think is your strength and which is your weakness and why?
Yung finish line, pagtapos ng event. Hindi, on a serious note, I think running. Running is my strength.
Oh, strength.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
Why?
then bike is my weakness.
Why do you say that?
I think genetics. I think genetics plays a huge role sa kahit anong sport. Mindset helps, of course.
Yep.
Pero if you're tall, it's easier. You have a huge advantage in the swim. Diba? And I guess siguro yung running mechanics ko when I was young, I was already playing around, running. So mas madaling nag-transition. Yung muscles mas nag-forma ng maaga.
Was this something that you thought of? I mean, as you got into it, na parang consistently yung bike medyo hirap or?
Well, until now, it's a never-ending disadvantage for me. And I'm a frustrated cyclist. That's how I see
what
it.
is so hard about
even swimming.
Just like random question, like what is the hardest part about the biking? Is it the endurance and the strength in the legs or the calf muscles or?
I think it's a technique. So parang hindi ko pa rin makuha until now yung perfect technique or the right technique that na ibang tao na master.
Okay, is there a shift now in the mindset? Kasi syempre triathlon. Ano nga ba una? Is it the swim?
Swim. So swim, bike, run.
So after the swim, pagod ka na and then you go into the bike side of things, yung stretch na yon. And in your head, ito yung weakness eh. May shifting back. Do you have to parang kind of pump yourself even more pag bike na?
Not so sure to be honest.
So while you're swimming, because honestly, swimming is a battle of mind?
Mhm.
Or you're just thinking? Do you think already ahead, like, bike is next, just form, or like that? Or ano yung mga iniisip mo habang nagsiswim
Swim
ka to
technique.
prepare yourself to
To the bike,
bike?
efficiency. That's the first and foremost na priority. Kasi you have to stay efficient because it's a long event. It's a 2-hour event. So you need to manage your heart rate, and on managing the heart rate while going fast, you need to keep a certain technique, especially under fatigue. They call it technique under fatigue,
How does that work?
TUF.
Meron bang ano yan? May
Training.
certain
Oh,
breathing that na kailangan?
Breathing, land, yung pag-push mo sa water, yung hands mo, including the bike and run. So, yun yung ginagawa namin sa training every single day. Since as national athletes, not elite triathletes, we train about 25 to 30 hours a week of the entire swim, bike, run. So all we do is preparing the body and teaching the body how to do these things while on fatigue. When you're on zone 4, heart rate 150 beats per minute.
So, okay.
Is that your normal, is that your normal heart rate while swimming?
For the entire race, yes.
150.
Yeah.
Not
swimming.
higher, obviously, because that's
Sometimes, may mga burst na
Syempre,
mas mataas. Pero syempre, we try to keep it as low as possible. That's where the fitness comes in, diba?
Yes, 140,
130, 20,
much better.
Doon mo makikita yung fitness level mo.
How do you monitor that? Because I know you have yung mga watches, but when you're swimming, how do you kind of monitor that and make sure you're efficient pa din?
Feel na lang talaga. That's where the veteran skills come in. You have to feel your
Yung
body.
pagod. It's like, okay, I need to slow down the breathing.
Yes. So, but if the entire group is going fast and you need to keep up with them, how do you keep going fast?
That's the pressure, no?
while keeping your heart rate low? That's where the skills come in. But at the same time, your fitness level. So it's how you prepare.
I know it's different for everybody, no? Pero typically, and on an average siguro, how long would it take for you to kind of master that na without looking at certain gadgets, alam mo na sa sarili mo kung paano tansyahin?
Years. I think years pa rin talaga.
Dekada
Training, di naman siguro.
Hmm.
I think lang, couple of years. Pero what would help is to not use your watch during training sessions. So sometimes, don't look at your watch. Get the feel of things, and then you have your coach to monitor you.
So after na?
So after, yes. So may mga sessions kami with the coach. Walang tanggal ng relo. Ano lang talaga, get your feel of things. Then sisigaw na lang sa'yo, yung pag-finish mo sa pag-touch mo sa wall, sabihin na sisigaw na lang sa'yo yung time mo. And then if you check your heart rate, yung ganon.
Intense levels yan, ha?
Oo nga
Very, expert level.
Is it-
professional.
You would know, dati
Yeah, I
national
know.
athlete
It
ka din, di ba?
gives me parang flashback ako eh. On those times of
War
training.
flashback ba?
Parang ganun. No, it's intense. Like, you kind of dread it as an athlete, but then you love it because you know you're going to improve. And if you do it right, and you can see the results when you challenge other people, you're like, man, nag-improve na ako because I'm doing the basics. I'm doing the recovery. I'm doing the training. But it's tough, man.
It's tough,
Really tough.
Training
It's
with
up here.
teammates, mental, it's really tough. But the teammates really help. Ang sarap mag-training pagkasama yung teammate,
Yes.
pag may kasama kang coach. And sometimes yung suffering, mas masarap. Kasi may kasama ka eh.
Damay-damay
Suffering
kayo.
together, damay-damay lahat.
Yes, iba talaga, iba. And I miss those days kapag I get to train with the teammates. So sometimes I make time to, just show up for mga dati kong teammates. Ensayo lang. Just for the sake of it.
Takbo-takbo lang.
Takbo-takbo lang.
After this, parang gusto ko tumakbo din eh. I'm gonna try. See. Pero grabe yun. That is crazy. Very amazing to go through something like, because triathlon is different, man.
Yeah.
It's not volleyball, basketball, rugby. It's a different level of fitness, and it's, remember, it's hours. So how long is a normal triathlon go for?
Well, sa amin, sa Olympic distance, it's 2 hours. Average na.
Of
Swimming,
Swimming.
biking, and running. So
Ano
that's
ulit yung distance no, Nico?
so it's 1.5 kilometer swim, 40 kilometer bike, and then a 10 kilometer run.
Man.
more like 10-kilometer sprint because you're challenging others at the same time. But you said that was your strength.
Yes.
Do you think while you were riding, let's say, okay, my time is doing well, is okay lang, babawi ako sa running.
Yes.
Ah.
So nandun yung mental advantage of that
Yes.
kind of confidence that I can finish stronger sa run.
Okay, and speaking of finishing strong, balikan lang natin. 10 years ago, we all know, you won gold in the SEA Games
Diba?
2015 and 2017. Tama?
Yes.
Oo. Just talk about that experience, how you prepared for it, and I guess everything that happened during those times na nakuha mo yung medalyang yun, back to back.
The first one was a very different, was a unique experience. We were doing an international training camp. We were in Europe, in Portugal, and then we would do European triathlon competitions. So we were exposed with European type style of competition. Diba? Kung sa basketball, may parang Euro basketball style.
Yep, correct.
Same thing pala sa triathlon. Mas ang halimaw nila sa bike. Ganun. But it gave me more confidence approaching the games. So when we fly from Portugal straight to the SEA Games in Singapore, for the past 2 days, grabe, hindi ako nakatulog like 0% sa kaba.
Shucks.
Yes. Oh, until the day before the race, doon lang ako nakatulog. And the reason is because for the very first time, I was expected to deliver a medal for the country. And it was a different feeling because, millions pinondohan ka, tapos all of the sacrifices, and then millions of Filipinos are expecting you to deliver, in fact, a gold medal. And I thought to myself, what was going on my mind was, paano kung hindi ko makuha tong gold medal?
Whoops! Teka lang! Di kailangang clutch ang pakikinig sa podcast na ito. It's the crucial moments that count. Kaya make this moment count with Sports Plus. Visit sportsplus.ph now. Dahil easy lang ang mag-sign up. Huwag ring kalimutang mag-like, follow at subscribe sa socials ng Clutch Talks.
That's the stress, the anxiety, the emotional damage type of thing. Like,
Yes. So yun yung talaga, fear. So the fear of not achieving it rather than the fear of, diba, yung gano'n, what can happen if mag-crash ako sa bike. So what I did was, the nights na hindi ako makatulog, I was creating plans na from plan A to plan Z. What will happen in every situation? Paano pag na-flat ako sa bike? Paano pag hindi ako nakasabay sa swim? So it means na mag-bike ako mag-isa. Paano pag umulan? Paano pag natanggal yung water bottle? All of these backup plans, I was preparing for myself for the very big day on Monday. So from that day, true enough, on gun start, pag sakay ko sa bike, nadulas ako. Crash ako because umulan like 2 hours before. And you know what happened? Hindi ako kinabahan. I felt relaxed. Parang okay. Kasi I already anticipated this very moment. So I got up on the bike and then ang nangyari was, hinintay ako ng teammate ko. So that was a crucial moment. So tinulungan niya akong sumabay pa sa grupo. So teamwork really is very crucial and it really helps succeed. So it became a Team Philippines effort talaga. And fast forward, I won the gold medal, thankfully, because of it. And fast forward, 2 years later, mas relax na ako, mas may more veteran approach.
Pero
Mas nakakatulog na.
Pero Nico, yung pressure of defending now the medal, hindi yun that then like weight on your shoulder? Hindi ka na pressure doon?
Pressured pa rin, syempre. Pero mas naging na ako, mature in a sense na okay lang kahit di manalo. I just focus to, yung mental psych na,
yeah,
if it happens, it happens. I'll just focus on how to get that gold medal.
so more mature na.
Yes,
More
ganun.
mature approach. Yeah,
Less
those
fear,
reasons.
more of strategical approach.
Exactly, yeah.
Yun. After
And
all, inisip ko na lang,
importante din yung sinabi mo na if I win, I win.
Mhm.
If I don't, at least I'll do my best.
yes.
Or I'll do my best.
And I prepared very well the
Yes.
strategies. So I did the same thing. I planned from A to Z. Nag-prepare kami talaga from diet, nutrition, sleep. Very crucial ang sleep talaga. Dapat at least 7 hours. And then, knowing the field, knowing the
turf.
competitors. Yes.
Yes, surfaces.
Those tactics.
Okay. Kasama ba dun sa prep nyo? Because I'm sure there's a whole team behind your team. Kasama ba sa preparation yung, let's say, having the right mindset? Did you have like a psych team with you guys or kanya-kanya ba tong technique?
Kanya-kanyang technique. Back then, wala pa kasing para mga psych.
Hindi pa uso.
Hindi pa uso yung services na yun, di ba? I think nag-uso yan nung nanalo ng gold medal si Heidelin Diaz. Kasi she had her own psychologist. But in my end, I needed one noong 2015 when I wasn't able to sleep for the past three nights. But through self-talk, I was able to survive it. So thankfully talaga ako, na-handle ko yun while I've heard my other teammates, they really suffered. And that really compromised their performance on competition. So with that said, nagkanya-kanya talaga ako kahit noong 2017.
Do you mind sharing yung self-talk? Like what would you tell yourself?
Okay, sa akin personally, like I don't care about the competition anymore. Bahala na. I did my part naman eh. So yun yung parang main self-talk ko, yung ignorance style. So parang so what if I didn't win the gold medal in 2017? Nanalo na ako in 2015 eh. I got away na, okay na. Yung ganung style. Parang whatever works na lang talaga.
Yeah.
And
just to get your mind off of the matter that's just about to happen.
And the pressure, no?
The pressure,
Lalo
yeah.
na intense. And every time pupunta ka ng breakfast, lunch, dinner, nakikita mo yung mga kalaban mo kasi your house in the same hotel.
Ganun.
My gosh, it's crazy. Tapos di mo pala alam, no? Yung mga teammates mo, ganun din iniisip, kinakabahan sila.
Pero Nico, did you actually believe that? When you were telling yourself that, yung, okay lang, di mo manalo sa competition. Okay lang.
Actually,
Talaga?
Niisip ko parang bahala na. Basta I know, I'm confident that I'm gonna do well. And that's enough for me. And then, yung mindset, mag-shift na lang yan on race day na kapag nasa dagat na ako, di ba? Doing the swim or on the bike. If I'm feeling good, okay, doon na mag-build up yung confidence. But not couple of days before the game because sometimes you can get carried away.
Yep.
Or you might not be too disciplined as you should. Kakain ka ng cake na hindi dapat. Or
But you just do it, right? Like
a lot of people actually tend to neglect is coffee. Sometimes they take too much coffee pa rin days before the race. Eh, di ba nagpapalpitate mo yan And it makes you not be able to sleep well. It straps sa sleep quality. So yun. So ginagawa ko dahil kabado nga ako, binabawasan ko yung caffeine intake. Kunyari, bibili ako ng 1 cup of coffee, bubuhos ka ng kalahati just to manage myself. So those little things that talagang not everyone talks about, but it really matters.
Ano ba yung mga small things na you had to tweak, you had to change, aside from the coffee, like yung mga everyday, yung routine?
Supplements. So I take Usana every day yan. Like twice a day pa eh. Just to really buhusan ng fuel yung katawan. Chiropractor the day before the competition. So I'd really see my chiropractor the day before. If wala siya sa games sa Singapore or Malaysia, kikitain ko na siya even before I fly to the games. And then last but not the least, sleep. They don't talk about but it really matters.
Oh yeah, big time.
Ang iniisip lang lagi nila is diet, di ba? Make sure to stay on the diet. But it's more than that. It's sleep because it elevates your testosterone. And that fuels the endurance.
No, that's totally important talaga. I sustain to that even till now. And I'm thankful that napaka-importante talaga yung tulog, man. Because that's where you charge your body. That's where you charge everything. Because if you don't have enough sleep, you'll feel it talaga. Mararamdaman mo habang nagtatraining ka na biglang napagod ka or biglang na something happened or ma-injure. It's because you don't sleep. You have to sleep talaga. Right? Even till now.
Lalo na ngayon sa
lalo ngayon,
di ba?
Yeah.
Lalo na ngayon, lalong di nakakatulog to si Nico sa dami ng roles ng inaasikaso mo. But okay,
oh my gosh, yeah.
Before we get into that conversation, so 2015, 2017, correct me if I'm wrong, 2019 or was it 2020 that you got a military merit?
Pandemic.
So 2020.
Yes.
Oh shucks. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So during the pandemic, syempre, natigil yung ating competitions. We're not even allowed to stay outside, di ba, to train. So, mga indoor. So syempre, ibang tao, nabaliw. Isa na ako doon. So what I did was, I finally tried to pursue yung para naging interest ko into entering the military service as a volunteer. So what they call is reservist. So I entered the reservist, and part of which I also joined a foundation where they were doing relief missions. So with that, with si Coach Alvin kaibigan ko, we were traveling together with the military, with our foundation, to Tingloy, Batangas, down south, and up to Tarlac, just to give out relief missions from donations. And after a couple of months, I was issued an order of award, a military merit for my service to this mission. So, yun. Yung time na everyone was staying at home, we were out there doing other service for the country.
What does it mean to you to be able to do that? I mean, just to be, first, you were recognized talaga as a world-class athlete. Pero ito, you're being recognized now as somebody who's making time, going out of their way, risking your life. It was during the pandemic to help out other people.
Parang ginusto ko talaga to. I really wanted to do this without expecting a military medal. I never knew may mga ganun eh. For that sense, pinasok ko lang talaga in a sense that I wanted I just wanted to help. I just wanted to do something that rather than just staying at home, using your phone, diba? Para sa akin, para sa bang indoor training or training in general, if wala naman competition, there's no goal. Unlike here, people needed us. People needed help. And when my friend asked if I was interested to help in the relief mission, sabi ko, say no more. Let's do it anywhere.
Galing. That's it. It's being selfless. Sharing love to others by just serving them. That's amazing.
Sarap na feeling.
Yeah. Nothing beats that, right?
And it reminds us of how we're so blessed where we are today. At, diba, we're being told to stay at home. Sa ibang tao, wala nga sila mga homes, diba? They try to keep thinking of how can they eat food. Tayo, parang kain lang sa loob. Magpag-grab ka na lang. So it reminds us, to be grateful. Those are the things what happened in pandemic.
I guess it's a reminder also na, in your position, it's a privilege to be able to do that, to be able to help out other people. Kasi sabi mo, yung iba, naghahanap ng pagkain and tayo, we're told to just stay at home. But other people don't really have a choice. They have to go out. Kailangan nila gumawa ng pera. So it is a privilege. It is our duty to help out our kababayans if we can.
Amazing. So what is your life now? Like, explain to us, what do you do as Nico right now? Like, you still a triathlete? You still do service? You're a family man or
still a commercial model?
Yeah, commercial model.
No.
Say cheese.
When I retired from the national team, I pursued one of my what ifs in life to enter corporate. So I entered government for 1 year in BCDA, and then the following year I entered the Philippine Olympic Committee. Doon kami nagtrabaho ni Denise.
POC.
Philippine Olympic Committee, yes. So, couple of months after, sinalang na ako sa Olympics. Baptism of fire.
Explain mo yung role mo, Nico, in the POC.
So now I entered the POC as the head of marketing. So I was one of the responsible people for the partnership of the Team Philippines. For example, with Samsung or
brands.
Brands. Itong outfit na to. I was one of the people that, facilitated the memorandum of agreement at yung magiging suot ng Team Philippines to the Olympics. So this is my...
Baka may extra large dyan.
Oo nga, sasabihin ko nga, bakit parang di ako nakatikim ng jacket na yan?
Hey, we have to earn it though. We have to be a part of the team though.
Hindi, but okay, going back, Nico, you're part of the POC now, and you see what's happening. Yung technicalities of it all. What do you see? I mean, from your perspective now, kasi syempre yung perspective mo dati being lang atleta all you have to worry about is just competing. Pero ngayon, you have to worry about your job and worry about making sure that our athletes get everything that they need.
Yes. So we always think about the welfare of the athletes. And I'm thankful that I'm part of the Olympic Committee who knows what the athletes need, coming from being an athlete. And from what I'm seeing right now, over the course of the years, Philippine sports is getting a lot better. Nakikita ko yung synergy na both from the Olympic Committee and the Philippine Sports Commission and then the private sector funding a lot of these athletes directly and the NSAs. And when they get funding, they can do more training camps abroad to be more exposed and then be ready for the competition.
What's the biggest struggle still? I mean, I'm sure
Bureaucracy is number one. And then government funding. We have the funds. Get it. Everyone gets it. But to request that fund takes a lot of time. And time is of the essence when it comes to sports. Magre-request ka ng flight, kailangan 3 months before. Minsan may mga patawag na competition 1 month before. So, nagagawin mo, you're too late. You won't be able to request that funding because it takes a while to get approvals. So, that's where private funding comes in. Because if you're directly privately funded, you can cash advance it or you can book your personal flight and then in the hopes na ma-reimburse. Something like that. Pero sa akin, I'd rather make all these national athletes live like pro athletes. Kasi pag pro athletes, you're not subject to government funding. You rely on your self-funding through sponsors, but at least you have the liberty to move around in the most efficient way. Like a Manny Pacquiao.
Oh, that's all we want. If as an athlete, we all want to be like the Manny Pacquiao, right? Because he does it. He does, everything. He's got a team to take care of everything, from finances to accommodation to lahat training camps, coaches. He's really well sustained. Pero yung mga athletes natin, but you've seen the difference, right? From our time where we were in the Philippine team, kaysa sa ngayon.
Ay, sobra. Ang layo
Sobra.
na. In a good way, to be honest.
Yes.
So, for one, I was a former chairman of the Athletes Commission ng Olympic Committee for 2 terms. That's 8 years. So, I was parang president ng Athletes Association. And I saw the potential and opportunities. And one of which is that the social media aspect. National athletes can easily monetize their credibility. Yan. And turn it into fame. And from fame, they can turn it into leverage to get sponsors. So that's the four-part process of it.
Bago sumabak sa mas matinding usapan, easy lang. Nasa Clutch Talks pa rin tayo with Eruption and Denise Tan, powered by Sports Plus, the official gaming partner of the Philippine Olympic Committee. Kaya for more content like this, visit sportsplus.ph.
That's what I kind of did too. Yung avenue na ginawa ko when I was a Philippine Volcano and then going into Showtime. I tried to leverage off the exposure that I have. But, still as a national athlete, kasi binabalanse ko yung training ko, Showtime, balik sa training, tulog, wake up training, Showtime, balik. It was like and it was tough, man. It was tough doing that. And I was paying for the gas. I was doing everything myself because I have a job na. Pero not before when I was just a model. Napakahirap, man. Like when I see athletes go, they kind of go on this rant sa social media, man, I feel it kasi like ayoko sabihin pero wala akong TF noon. Walang nagbabayad sa akin. And the only things that we'll get as support is syempre the lodging, accommodation, flights.
The basics.
The basics. Basics lang. Pero TF, wala kami. Wala kaming allowance or anything.
Yeah.
During out, my
Your
time.
Well, I guess our time kasi nga, bashers tayo.
Yes, exactly.
Anong year ba kayo?
I started being a national athlete at 2009.
So almost same pala tayo. Ako
Yes.
2010.
Yes.
So,
And then hanggang 2015, 16.
15. Okay.
That's when I stopped. Because
Wala pa masyadong aggressiveness ng social media na, no?
Wala pa.
Back in 2010.
Wala pa.
talaga, no?
Wala pa mga monetizing leverage
We're trying to do it
options.
ourselves.
Mhm.
We're trying to create exposure to attract sponsors. Pero back then, it was just starting pa lang eh.
Mhm.
But-
It's a lot different now, no?
Oh, yes.
And one of which that we did as the Athletes Commission during my time in the Olympic Committee was we would do these marketing programs. I'm a marketing graduate, by the way. So medyo na-apply ko sa part ko during my career. But the point is, we would do annual marketing seminars on how to capitalize your career as a national athlete. So we would invite speakers and share it to these attendees so that they would know where they are and the potential earnings they can get to use for their for their athlete career life.
Mhm.
So, and I tell this to these national athletes, big time na kayo eh. You guys are the best of the best in your field. So you already have a certain niche fans. All you have to do is to use that in a way to monetize it on certain platforms. Now, for these platforms, that's where these seminars come in. So you have to show up. And the problem is sometimes these athletes are not so open-minded to show up for these marketing sessions so that they can learn these skills. Iba, they think they're too focused with their sport. They have no time to attend to these things. But with a little help, a little bump, poke to show up would make a big difference.
Okay, so these are the things that the athletes can do. Pero sa mga nanonood sa atin, yung mga viewers, what can they do to actually help out these athletes na sumusubok magkaroon ng mas matinding traction, I guess, on social media? Because social media now, grabe yung power nun to just get more sponsors also.
Well, in my end, first one is syempre to follow them, follow their journey, support them, comment. Laking tulong na yan for them. They get to be more empowered that people are listening to their journey, are tuning in that these viewers are believing in these athletes. Parang they're not alone. Lalo na for them, from some of these sports, it's a niche market. Like some of your guests, diba? Like wushu or jiu-jitsu. And with this, they'd be able to know more about what these fans need or want to hear.
Marketing, it really goes about our avenue. It's as a professional athlete, you got to know how to market yourself, didn't it?
Yes, and sometimes you just need mentors, and that's what the Athletes Commission did in the past to give you these mentors. And you know what? These mentors are just waiting for athletes to approach them. Diba? These mentors are not gonna approach these athletes kami. Hindi naman kami nilapitan. Ako lumapit sa mga mentors, mga marketing professionals. I would attend webinars just to know market 101, even if I was a marketing graduate already.
Sorry, just to follow that up. Ano ang siguro 2 tips that you could give to any athlete right there? Not even a professional athlete, kahit atleta lang that wants to go to that level in social media, or what are your 2 tips in regards to marketing themselves?
Well, number 1 is to attend these digital talks, these marketing 101s. And there's so many out there if you looked into Facebook or Instagram, there are so many webinars on that. May mga bayad, of course. It's a worthy investment kasi babawian ka niyan. And then second would be, you have to be out there. You have to be proactive in approaching these networking activities, talking to athletes, coaches, mentors, team managers on how to get yourself to the next level of this.
Nico, I have a question.
Yeah.
With regard to social media postings and, putting yourself out there, would you say na mas okay, let's say, ako as a former, sige, wag na ako. Somebody who's active. Somebody who's active na lang. Na, let's say, more content about them being an athlete, or dapat ba meron din silang, because there are certain trends, di ba, yung mga collabs. What do you recommend for that?
It depends eh. It depends talaga sport, who you are, all of these things eh. Minsan kapag national athlete ka, iba yung approach mo compared sa non-national athlete not representing the country. You can do a different demeanor or different style. Mas may freedom. Unlike kapag national athlete, may certain image limits ka rin. Is that right? For mga federations. Latali ka ba sa ganun?
Depende siguro sa federation mo.
I guess so.
Depende rin sa federation talaga yung mga certain limits. In fact, iba pinapasign ng contract, di ba? Na once you're a national athlete, you have to abide by these certain limits. May ganun eh. Unlike kapag pro athletes, you can have more leeway. Yes. And one of the biggest factors na na-realize ko pala, but I was fortunate enough to have this, is that I had a manager. So I was other Melmac Sports. But again, I wasn't mentioning it before kanina, diba? Because not everybody will get a manager or will be blessed to have a manager.
Fortunate enough to.
Siguro your max would be to have these multiple mentors through your proactive approach. But not everybody would be blessed to have a willing manager to manage you on your mga endorsements and sponsors.
Tsaka it doesn't work for everybody eh. Yung managers, yeah. Meron talaga mga mas preferred din na
Sarili nila, self-manage.
Oo.
Yeah, may mga ganun nga daw. Ako gusto ko may manager ako. The shout out to Boss Melma. Kasi parang less thought na.
Actually.
You don't have to think about it. You focus on your...
Yes, you just have to focus on delivering a gold medal. And maybe posting on social media.
Ako, I've never had a manager. Ang pinaka madugo lang sa akin is yung back and forth email na ikaw yung haggling, yung details, lahat yan.
Yeah.
Ang dugo niya.
Tapos yung mga post reports pa, di ba? Nagawa man yung trabaho, kailangan pa i-post report.
Correct.
Tapos and then yung billings.
Oo, ako lahat.
Kaya maganda yung my manager.
So naging entrepreneur ka na, no? You are the business yourself.
Parang ganun. Pero ang hirap din. Ang hirap din ng mag-isa ka lang. Pero okay din kasi you get to kind of try to make an effort, more of an effort to, at least for my case, na talagang kilalanin ko to.
Yes.
Kasi walang mangyayari sa'yo.
You grow from it. Yung maganda dyan there's that beauty in the journey of growing from experiencing all of these aspects of being a national athlete. Ano pa dyan, yung checking the contract, making sure,
fine print.
Fine print. My gosh. Hindi yan. So yun.
You know what? Actually, you know what? It's interesting that we moved to this.
Gusto ko yung tinapos ni Nico. So yun.
It's interesting that we moved to this side of it was unexpected. We weren't supposed to kind of go this, but I think it's great for the viewers to understand that and what they should understand in the future, what they will get into when they become a professional athlete or a national athlete.
It's not just the training,
there's always the other side.
Yeah.
The other side of things.
But this other side will help you survive this side that you love, which is the sporting side.
Yeah. And it's interesting din na yung iba yung panahon eh. Yung sa panahon natin kaysa sa panahon ngayon, it is different. Right now, you got so many avenues of becoming a national athlete.
That's why I like it better. Now it's the best time to be an athlete.
I agree. Because of social media. You for instance, record time in a national athlete, like for instance, sprinting or something. And then you're like, hey, I got what it takes. You run a time at this amount of time and you post it on social media. And it could go viral. Like, hey, grabe, parang national record natin to. Sinong batang to? It's contact. Just like that, DM, come try out. Let's see if you got it. And let's see if it's true. And if he performs there, straight away in the team.
Kahit the far-flung areas in the provinces, diba? Down south or north. Kaya.
I must say, in the past couple of years, hindi natatouch yung areas na yun because no social media. So, hindi nalalaman, ang dami palang, let's say, you fly to Negros or you fly to, I don't know, Catanduanes, na biglang meron palang gem doon na kailangan lang mag-viral on X or on Facebook.
One of these changes then is that yung mga LGUs ngayon are more supportive. They have this strong pride of their local na nakakapanalo ng palarong pambansa. Diba? O kahit yung mga yung mga events sa Manila, pagbalik sa probinsya, iba. They're very well celebrated. And it's a really good thing now that these LGUs are embracing the value of sports representation of their LGUs.
Correct. Well, speaking of professional level or high tier level, how did people like Manny Pacquiao, Heidelin, and like Carlos, you look like, how do they influence? How much of an influence are they in the nation today in the Philippines?
Alaki. One of which is relatability. All of them are locally bred, trained here, grew up here. They speak the language, and the success that these athletes did gave hope to these aspiring youth and grassroots to say na if these guys can do it with siguro yung with less opportunities kasi because of the income, diba? What more pa yung iba na mas may capacity. So it gives a lot of huge hope for these aspirants.
Ang laking bagay ng visibility because when you're young, you aspire to be this or that person, but now may actual kang person to look up to. Exactly. Diba? Na tama
live here, diba?
Oo.
They live here. Sometimes makikita mo sila on the streets, nagmamalling. So it's really nice. Tumatawa.
Natawa na nag-bowling.
Di ba? Nagmamahal si Idol Diaz. Di ba? Si Carlos.
Kung saan na naman tayo pupunta. But okay, we've talked about your life as a triathlete, what you do now for the POC. I guess we want to know also, what's next for you? Is this something that you plan to do like for the next 10, 15 years? O meron ka pang ibang gustong like a startup or business, whatnot?
Yes. I recently became a real estate broker.
Wow.
Yeah.
Iba yan
Iba?
Pero may marketing part din yan.
Yes,
Like,
definitely.
you'll be able to utilize that.
Yes, in selling properties and project development. I actually fell in love with real estate just 2 years ago. Out of interest spark. Parang ano ba tong lupa na to? Ano ba tong building na to? Subdivisions. Yun lang. It's a random, unusual, passion. And I pursued it on my own without having to tell people or posting it aggressively on my social media. I just like it. Para siguro mga ibang tao, di ba, yung mga cars, yung mga kanyang passion. That's what's keeping me busy kapag may free time ako.
May lupa ako. Pwede mo mabenta.
Ako naghahanap ng lupa. So, dito na
Sige, usap tayo sa podcast. So those things, I can talk about it entire day with friends, with other co-real estate brokers. I was attending seminars without having to post about it. I just like it. Siguro parang childhood passion, something like that. And now, maybe in a couple of years, this might be my next chapter. If I do, stop working na for the Olympic Committee, this will be my next step. Probably working for a real estate firm, because it's also fulfilling when we create properties or developments that help the welfare of the people. It helps. Diba yung urban planning, yung proper sewage system.
Nako. That's a whole nother episode, Nico.
But yes, those things, especially sports facilities. I'm pretty sure you guys can agree that we need more sports facilities. Sino dito ang mga sports facilities specialists in developing these structures, diba?
Ay, gusto ko yun. Gusto ko yung usap na. Alam mo, pwede lang 2 hours tong episode natin eh. But Nico, again, since you are still with the POC right now, really taking care of the athletes, meron ka bang siguro mensahe to number 1, to all our national athletes, number 2, to all aspiring national athletes?
Yes. So, for the national athletes muna, no?
Yeah, and this is your account.
Sige,
Yeah.
So, to our national athletes, we believe in you. We hope you chase excellence every single day. Whether you deliver a medal or not, we're always here behind you. And it's an honor for what you guys are doing. Everybody would love to be in your position in representing the country. So we hope you continue this service in the best of your abilities.
Okay, yung mga aspiring national athletes naman.
So to our aspiring national athletes, I was one of you guys. Just keep believing in your dreams. Stay focused. Stay strategic. Continue to work hard, work smart, and sooner or later, God's gonna give you what you deserve. So keep working hard.
Galing eh. Parang marketing ba yung ginawa mo? Ang galing eh. He knows exactly how to say it. Oh, sino pa? Your parents maybe? Or your family?
Yes, sa mga pamilya ko, maraming salamat sa support. Nagpapakabait pa rin naman ako.
We love it. Again,
Yes,
thank you for your time, Nico.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Yeah. No, really appreciate it. Thank you for coming on Clutch Talks.
Bago sumabak sa mas matinding usapan, easy lang. Nasa Clutch Talks pa rin tayo with Eruption and Denise Tan. Powered by Sports Plus, the official gaming partner of the Philippine Olympic Committee. Kaya for more content like this, visit sportsplus.ph.
All right. So, yeah, we just spoke with Nico, the one and only. That guy, to me, is like a calculator. Like, he is calculated. Everything sa training program niya, sa mga kailangan niyang gawin, the sacrifices that he made, the sleeping in the library. May libraries pa tayo ngayon?
Meron naman, syempre, sa university. Sa universities, I'm sure.
Meron.
Tsaka may public libraries din naman. But, that's right. Like what you said, calculated talaga lahat. Even the time that he spent with his friends.
20 minutes?
20 minutes, okay na. May social duties is, parang na-checklist niya na yon. But, I mean, that is what it takes if you know the value of your goals. And he was very straightforward with that. He knows his value. He knows his priorities. And what did that give him? Back-to-back SEA Games gold medals.
So we know exactly what we need to do to be able to get to that level, right? Or to be able to win, a gold medal at the SEA Games. Because that is really, really tough, what he was doing. And prioritizing his schooling at the same time. He that's why I said he's everything he did was clinical. It was strategic. Parang yung kinukuha niyang kurso na marketing, everything is to the T. And then yung ginagawa niya ngayon, working for the POC. It's amazing because it's important that when you're giving advice, you've been there. I mean, sometimes you experience something in life, especially as an athlete, you want to share that with those newer athletes now, those new national players. And you can actually say, I've been there. Yeah. I've done that. And siya yun eh.
Yeah. And I love the fact also na, yung mga ginagawa niya, it's not just, from being an athlete to being part of POC. Yes, we can say he's an expert in those two fields, pero he's also not afraid to branch out. He spoke about when he got the military merit medal, diba? Sacrificing his time, knowing his duty, his responsibility, na imbes na nasa bahay lang daw siya, nagsi-cellphone, lumalabas siya, giving out food, relief goods, sa mga nangangailangan.
Very admirable. And you know what? That's one thing that I remember, like there was a saying, whenever you're in the service of your fellow beings, you're only in the service of your God. So you're really able to help others at the same time. God blesses you with more opportunities to do so. Not even that, He'll bless you in life with health and strength and everything that you need. So it's really good to give selfless service. And amen to that.
Amen, Nico.
Well done.
Clutch sa court, clutch sa life, at clutch sa kwento. Lahat niyan meron dito sa Clutch Talks. Kaya mag-subscribe na rin sa ating channel para hindi mahuli sa usapan. For more content like this, huwag rin kalimutang sumali sa ating official Facebook group. The views and opinions expressed by the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the platform. This podcast may contain mature themes and discussions. For full content and updates, visit sportsplus.ph. Gambling can be addictive. Know when to stop. For 21 years old and above only.